Fani Willis is the DA going after Trump in Georgia. This is a case he does need to worry about because she doesn't like him. The jury pool in Atlanta is not going to like him. And it's a state case that Trump cannot undo even if he or another Republican wins the presidency. He can't pull the DOJ off the case because that's federal and she's local. She's from a state. And he can't pardon himself or get a Republican to pardon him for a state conviction. So he does need to worry about Fani Willis a lot, much more so than the other state case, which is Alvin Bragg in Manhattan. That's kind of a bullshit case that even if he gets convicted on it, he's probably not going to jail. So Fani's a problem for Trump. Enter the latest defense motion on behalf of one of the other 18 or 19 defendants down there, not Trump's lawyer, but it's all to his benefit anyway. She represents another guy down there, this lawyer, and she finds out, this is my suspicion, I have no proof of this, she finds out somehow that Fani's allegedly having an affair with the special prosecutor she brought in. This is the lawyer who found out. And I'm going to guess that the special prosecutor's wife possibly tipped her off because hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And these two appear to have been getting along, Fani and her special prosecutor, before the official selection was made and possibly before his divorce was underway. Okay, so however she found out. One of the defense lawyers for one of the defendants finds out that Fani may be having an affair with the special prosecutor she brought in and whom she's paid $650,000 of the taxpayers' money to, which is double what any prosecutor down there is making. These DAs don't make a lot of dough. The justices on the Supreme Court in Delaware make less than $200,000 a year. This guy, her alleged affair partner, has pulled in $650,000 in a year. And Fani seems to be having a good time with him. According to the motion that was just filed on behalf of one of the other defendants, these two went to Napa together. They went to Florida. Dave, they were down by you. They, or Jamaica. The list is long. He's been whining and dining her. And this is while he's cashing all these checks that she has made possible. Now the defense lawyer is moving to have her recused from the case, to have him recused from the case, to have the entire DA's office recused from the case, because Fani seems to be enjoying, or at least is creating the appearance of impropriety, that she's enjoying the financial fruits of an appointment she made in bringing this guy in. He's getting all this money and she's taking trips with it, is the allegation. She hasn't spoken to it yet. They're refusing to comment. They say they'll respond only through briefs because there's a legal brief now asking that everybody get booted. And the woman filing the motion says she's seen the now under seal divorce proceeding files between the special prosecutor and his soon-to-be ex-wife. And as soon as she saw them, they put them under seal. So this woman hasn't been able to attach them as an exhibit yet, but she's seen them, the lawyer has, and is telling us, trust me, they've been having an affair. And we're all going to see these documents very soon. So that brings us to the news today, Mike. And by the way, credit to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution for reporting all of this. That's where we learned about it. The news today, still from AJC, is Fani Willis is going to get deposed in this divorce proceeding. The special prosecutor Wade, there's been a subpoena in his divorce case to Fani, and it was served on Monday, hours before that filing in the Georgia RICO case. And now this lawyer, Ashley Merchant, who represents one of the Trump defendants, is pointing out that not only is this guy Wade allegedly having an affair with Fani, but he's totally unqualified to be bringing this prosecution in the first place, which just puts the final stank on the whole thing, Mike, right? If he doesn't have the qualifications to be trying the case to begin with, then she brings him in, her alleged affair partner, showers him with all this dough. The two are off to Napa. My God, I need a clothespin. It stinks so bad. My nostrils need to be closed.
I mean, this is right out of a Veep episode, what Fani Willis is doing down there in Georgia. She brought in, allegedly, her boyfriend, who has zero experience with felony cases. She brought her boyfriend in to run a very complex, unprecedented, highly political, highly partisan RICO case against a former president of the United States who happens to be the leading presidential candidate, including and then also with 18 co-defendants, including President Trump's top aides, lawyers, supporters. This co-defendant, Michael Roman, submitted this 127-page motion to dismiss the indictment based upon this. There's also other problems besides Fani Willis getting kickbacks from her boyfriend, allegedly, in the form of these lavish trips. You also have this prosecutor. If you read his bills, he bills like 8 hours at a time every day with very vague descriptions. But one day he billed a full 24 hours. He billed every second of a day, and he put the vague description, prepared cases for pretrial, right? So you work 24 hours in a row very early on in this case.
The special prosecutor, Nathan Wade.
Yeah, Nathan Wade. Another thing that's very problematic.
Here's the bill, by the way, for the viewing audience on YouTube. You can see he does have a 24-hour invoice. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, and he also, this is how stupid this guy is. This guy also billed for 2 meetings he had with the White House staff, one with the White House counsel for like 8 hours, and then another 8-hour meeting at the White House before Fani Willis brought this indictment against President Trump. So that makes it very clear that President Biden and his White House are lying when they said that they didn't have any communications with any of these Democrat prosecutors like Alvin Bragg and Fani Willis before they brought these unprecedented charges against President Trump, this election interference, because Nathan Wade billed for those meetings. And the fact that he billed for those meetings, his 2 meetings prior to Fani Willis's indictment with the White House staff, proves that they talked about Trump's indictment. Because why else would Nathan Wade have billed for those meetings if they didn't talk about what he was working on?
That's a very good question, Dave. Those 2 dates, and we've seen now his bill, May 23rd, 2022, November 18, 2022, before Trump was indicted by Fani Willis. And it says travel to Athens conference with White House counsel, 8 hours on the May one. November interview with DC/White House, 8 hours. Mike raises a good question. Why would he be talking to the White House and conferring with White House counsel immediately prior to Trump's indictment if there wasn't coordination with the White House on Trump's indictment?
Well, Megyn, let's look at the dates. The investigation in Fulton County started on January 2nd, 2021. That's when the call occurred. That's what prompted the investigation. The investigation actually started on February 11th, 2021. And so this was taking place, this investigation, a year plus prior to this meeting. If there was a meeting, who knows? This was Nathan Wade's way to bill for it. He says meeting with White House counsel. But this investigation was going on for many months. And then the grand jury was meeting as of January of 2022. So you're talking about many months that the investigation was happening and the grand jury was meeting. So when you say that Biden administration was pulling the strings, this thing was already happening in the grand jury. And why did they even need to care about Fani Willis? At that point, when the first meeting took place, Jack Smith had already been appointed. And so this investigation at the federal level was already occurring. And let me tell you something as a state prosecutor. We state prosecutors don't want to get in the way of feds, and the feds hate when we duplicate their efforts. The feds do not want us to do what they do because it gets in the way of immunity and other issues. So to think that the Biden administration is saying, yeah, go ahead and prosecute when they're already investigating, there's already a grand jury in place, and they've already got their own federal case ready to be teed up, I think strains credulity. I don't think this meeting means anything.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, the Department of Justice has very strict guidelines on who within the Justice Department can meet with whom in the White House when you're dealing with criminal investigations, right? So if a White House staffer can't meet with the Justice Department about a criminal investigation, how the hell can that White House staffer meet with a state attorney general about a criminal investigation? And that criminal investigation just happens to be about their boss's chief political enemy. This is a scandal that this Nathan Wade, on behalf of Fani Willis, billed for time when he met with the White House twice before Fani Willis indicted President Trump. This shows that there was clear collusion between the Biden White House, not just the Biden Justice Department, the Biden White House and
That's
this
how he
Democrat
puts it.
prosecutor.
That's how his own bill says, conferring with White House counsel, interview with DC/White House. It doesn't seem very ambiguous, and we deserve some answers on it. But I want to go back to you, Dave, on what Fani Willis is accused of here. In what world would it be appropriate for a DA to be having an affair with somebody, to bring that person in as special prosecutor, to pay him $650,000, and then to go travel the globe with him, post paying him all that money?
Megyn, I'm not going to defend the optics of this. Look, it looks bad, clearly. But keep in mind that Fani Willis, and by the way, I used to call her Fani Willis too, and then I got an email from one of her friends saying it's Fani, not Fanny. So just for what it's
I don't
worth.
care.
Well,
Don't care.
All right. Well, so she Nathan Wade has been a mentor of hers for years. They were both judges, and he was a mentor of hers when they were when he was a judge. So this has been going on for a while, not necessarily any affair. We don't know for sure if there's an affair, but even assume there is. Then
what's she doing in his divorce proceeding files if they're not having an affair?
I'm going to even assume that there's, even though there was no proof, if there is an affair, let's discuss it that way. So if they are having an affair, what's the prejudice? What's the problem to the defendant? How are the defendant's constitutional rights being deprived? That's why
I'll tell you. And first of all, we don't have to prove actual harm to the defendant. We can just prove appearance of impropriety, and she's misstepped. As you all know, we've all taken the bar exam and passed it. So appearance of impropriety is enough. But actual impropriety, actual prejudice could potentially be argued here because she has a financial incentive to keep the case going. The more her lover, alleged, gets, the more he has to spend on their next trip to Napa.
She's also being paid for this same thing. She gets paid to be.
She gets paid a salary no matter what. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't get $650,000 if this case goes away.
Well, the thing is the evidence there or not? I mean, whether he is prosecuting the case or someone else, the evidence is the evidence, and that's why the judge isn't going to dismiss the case.
I got you on your heels. I never get Dave on his heels. He's too smart for me usually, but I got you this time. You're on your heels because you know this is deeply wrong. Mike, there's no way she's getting out of this. If what this lawyer alleges is true, she's toast.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, number one, if I'm ever in hot water, I'm hiring Dave because he's a very good defense attorney.
Big news from Bonner Wines. This is only for true adventure seekers who are looking for more in their wine drinking experience than your grocery store big box wines. The Bonner Private Wine Partnership is releasing a wine so rare, it sells out practically every time it's been available. They invite you to come on an extraordinary journey to a remote vineyard where a never-before imported gem has wine enthusiasts everywhere raving. Picture this: altitudes of up to 9,000 feet. Grapes defy nature's harshest challenges up there, thriving somehow in poor soil, enduring extreme UV rays, facing thin atmosphere and volatile temperature swings. The result? This one-of-a-kind extreme altitude Malbec. Now, I have arranged special access for my listeners to get a bottle of this rare wine. Here's how. Visit Bonner, BONNER, privatewines.com/MK and become a member of the Bonner Private Wine Partnership. But act fast, you don't want to miss your chance. Visit bonnerprivatewines.com/MK now for wine at 50% off plus free shipping. bonnerprivatewines.com/MK today to get your wine delivered directly to your doorstep. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.